as we speak, the Constitutional Amendment Bill is yet to be published. And yet you know it has got timelines in the Constitution. You can't vary those timelines. And yet again, we know that two of the statute amendment bills, that is the Leader of Opposition Bill and the Coordination of National Government Amendment Bill, are dependent upon the passage of the Constitutional Amendment Bill. You must understand that you won't be able to touch on the Leader of Official Opposition Bill or the Coordination of National Government Amendment Bill, which is a bill dealing with the office of the Prime Minister, the proposed office of the Prime Minister. So let's understand that. Again, I want to plead with my colleague members that please let's take time and read these bills. We shall endeavor again to post them in our group, the WhatsApp groups, today. We did so earlier on, I think. Please download them and read them. The entrenchment of funds, there are only 3 funds that we are entrenching in the Constitution, for clarification, for clarity. The NGCDF fund, the Affirmative Action Fund, and the Senate Oversight Fund. The World Development Fund is not being entrenched in the Constitution because we realized during NADCO proceedings that there's already a clause in the Constitution that provides for such funds at the counties. What we agreed is basically enact an ordinary legislation at the national level to deal with the management of those funds in the counties and in the wards. The IBC, I agree on the issue of the political parties amendment bill. The proposed commission, I agree with the members who have spoken before me. We shall have to align it, to realign it rather, so that either of the chair or vice comes from the two coalitions. On the IBC amendment bill again, what is envisaged is that once the bill becomes an act of parliament, the current panel will stand dissolved. We have, however, given them a window, the members of the current panel, to perhaps reapply under the new law once it's enacted. And therefore, there's no issue of continuity. Whoever is in that panel and wishes to be a member of the new panel will have to go through the process as currently captured in the bill. The Honorable Senator Kajwang's bill is a very, very important bill. Because remember, in NADCO, we haggled over the issue of the clamor for new counties, the review of county boundaries, and yet we came to the realization that the Constitution provides, first and foremost, for the establishment of that commission. Okay? That was our recommendation, that let the commission be established under the law for it to do its bit. The opening of the server. You will realize that in the NADCO report, we had agreed to the establishment of a panel of 6 persons to undertake a holistic audit of the 2022 elections, presidential elections. And we went ahead as AZIMIO to nominate our 3 persons, one of whom is Senator Judy Parenu. Of course, the others are Senator Amos Wako and one Julius Njiraini. The Kenya Kwanza side, again, of course, also did their nomination, albeit too late in the day. They dragged their feet up to the very last minute. All the same, they did their nominations of their 3 panelists. However, this process has been stopped midstream. In fact, even before it took off by a court order, which was issued somewhere in Kiambu, I think. So we are fighting it in court for the order to be lifted, for that panel to be inaugurated, for it to do its work. So the issue of opening servers still remains alive as far as we are concerned. Finally, Not finally. The issue of the bills, again. There is no issue of us starting with political parties and so on and so forth. Let all these bills be progressed. The 4 in the Senate must be progressed. The same way the 3 now remaining in the National Assembly must also be progressed. They must all be prioritized. Because they can be addressed, they can be handled, they can be processed concurrently or simultaneously. The political, and this year Senator Wandayi will have to comment on this, or Senator Sifuna. The definition of parliamentary party, as was ably explained by Senior Counsel Otienda Muli, it was lacking, it was missing in the original NADCO bills. NADCO did not define parliamentary party. The Joint JLAC Committee, in its wisdom, defined it. And that was one of the amendments that we agreed could be introduced in the IBC Amendment Bill. The definition, however, was limited to basically lifting it from the National Assembly signing orders. That therefore left out the bit of the Senate. My take, and I'll be advised, my take is that as it is currently, we are safe with that definition. However, if there's room to make it uniform, that 5% be applicable both in the Senate and National Assembly, I have no idea. But we are totally opposed. To the idea of tampering with the current situation in the Senate, which is that a parliamentary party is a party with a minimum of 10 senators, from what I understand. Any attempt to bring down that number would create problems. Okay? It will simply create room for other small parties. Let me call them small. Let me withdraw that. For some parties to want to be recognized as parliamentary parties and then cause us trouble in the manner they are doing in the National Assembly. So I'll leave it to senators. My take is that we are safer not making any further amendment to that bill as it is currently in the Senate. If you have to, please let's consult widely. Finally, the Honorable Dr. Oburu Oginga has spoken very eloquently on the matter of deemed and the registered. I just want to clarify, and you may help me, yes, that it is indeed true. Let Honorable Oburu listen to this, Ndiege. It is indeed true that we replaced the terminology deemed with the registered. But again, what is the implication of being deregistered? The implication is that once you are deregistered by a political party, on whatever ground, you cease to hold the elective position that you currently hold. In other words, once you are deregistered, you lose your seat. But then there's a caveat. You are given a window to appeal the decision. Under the Constitution, you know, it's everybody's right. But that window is not open-ended. It is 90 days. From the time you are registered by a political party, you have got a maximum of 90 days to go through the appeal process in court. Okay? That therefore doesn't create the usual mischief of people keeping us in court forever. And yet they have been deregistered, they have been deemed as before. Okay? That will help us really address the issue of indiscipline in our political parties. Thank you very much, and most welcome.